Next on Worcester News Tonight, with just 2 weeks until the election, Worcester mayoral candidates meet face-to-face in a debate. Plus, close to 1 million acres of forest land in Massachusetts are damaged. It's a seasonal pest to blame. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Election night is right around the corner, and both candidates for Worcester's mayoral race faced off in a debate Monday. Mayor Joseph Petty and at-large Councillor Constantina Lukes went back and forth, answering questions about issues surrounding the city as they prepare for November 7th. Our Cam Jandro now joins us live with the details. Cam?
Anna, Election Day is just 2 weeks away, and tonight both mayoral candidates went face-to-face in what will be their only debate this election season.
Worcester's municipal election is 2 weeks away, and the candidates for mayor went face-to-face in a debate Monday. Incumbent Joseph Petty and at-large Councillor Constantina Lukes answered questions from a panel regarding issues in the city, while also discussing some of their own priorities.
Maybe taxes will come up as usual. That's always an issue no matter what time of year it is, and the budgetary issues between schools and city government.
Opioid crisis, we see overdoses in all our public buildings downtown. The panhandlers are still out in the street. There's an issue of homelessness and housing.
Both highlighted the economic development taking place throughout Worcester, but when it comes to the city's renaissance, the two have different points of view.
People looking at the city, looking at downtown, looking at the neighborhoods that we're investing in, the parks, in economic development, public safety, and the schools, all make a big difference.
It's limited to downtown, and we have to move out and see that our neighborhoods are not suffering.
Both candidates have served on the city council since the 1990s. Petty is seeking his fourth two-year term as mayor, while Lukes held the office from 2007 to 2009. And with Election Day not far, both say they're ready for the home stretch.
Clearly, I'm behind. Elections for any candidate are stressful, and they have an element of excitement and anticipation.
Everything we usually do in every single election. So I feel good, and so the voters have a choice, and I respect what the voters do at the end of the day.
Now, both Petty and Lukes tell me there's still plenty of work to do before the voters hit the polls on November 7th. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. Well, close to 1 million acres of forest land in Massachusetts are damaged. The source? Gypsy moths. Felicia Andre, a forester for DCR Forest Health, says this year the state has more than 900,000 acres of gypsy moth defoliation, meaning almost 1/3 of all the state's forested areas received some sort of damage. Andre says the reason the gypsy moths were so bad this year was the weather. The moths are usually kept in check by a certain type of fungus, but the fungus can't do its job in dry conditions.
Last year we had a severe drought, and the year before that we had a drought. So those drought conditions, especially out east where it's a sandier soil, is a lack of moisture, so the fungus can't move around. Therefore, the caterpillars got a head start on it.
Andre says the Quabbin Reservoir area saw the most severe damage here in central Massachusetts. She says the rainy conditions this year will help next year, which means we won't see as big of an outbreak of gypsy moths. Well, a man is arrested in Northbridge following a multi-town chase. Police say they began pursuing the suspect in nearby Upton after an encounter with an officer in a construction zone. The driver sped off, then rear-ended another car on Sutton Street in Northbridge. The other driver suffered minor injuries. The suspect ran off, but officers caught up with him. He's facing a number of charges. The long-awaited landing system at Worcester Regional Airport is almost complete. It will ensure airlines like JetBlue can land even in foggy conditions like this morning. The system is one of several upgrades at the airport aimed at drawing more commercial flights. Our Catherine Andrioli has the story.
Daylight today is why we're installing Category 3.
The Worcester Regional Airport is nearing completion of its Category 3 landing system. And on a foggy day like today, Airport Director Andy Davis says it makes all the difference.
When we have very foggy conditions, low visibility conditions, including snow and fog, these planes will be able to land with the reliability that the airlines and the airline customers will expect.
The $32 million landing system allows planes to land in various types of weather conditions. The construction is in its final phases, and Davis says it's attracting interest to add more flights to the airport.
It will provide the reliability that airlines require for the customers and the customers demand. And when the reliability is there, that makes the airport that much more attractive for additional air service.
JetBlue announced this year new service to JFK from Worcester. Davis says the construction of a new taxiway and landing system has made that possible.
Reflection of JetBlue seeing that the reliability factor is improving, and this additional flight shows that there's additional interest.
Opens up a whole new, realm of where we can travel.
John McWilliams frequently flies from the Worcester Regional Airport. He says the updates will provide more opportunities for passengers like himself.
I'm just so looking forward to the JFK connections. It's going to open up so much travel experience here.
In Worcester, Catherine Andrioli, Worcester News Tonight.
The Cat 3 landing system is expected to be completed by early December. Well, the Massachusetts Secretary of Housing and Development visits Worcester Monday for a networking event. And a hot topic of the day, the city's bid to host Amazon's second headquarters. And as our Brittany Schaefer explains, Jay Ash believes Worcester and Amazon would greatly benefit each other.
Worcester, Massachusetts has everything we need and more.
The state's Housing and Economic Development Secretary says Worcester presents a strong location for Amazon's second headquarters.
A place like Worcester is greatly suited for that. Great, what we call bones in the industry, great existing resources.
Secretary Jay Ash says in his years in the economic development field, he has never seen an opportunity like this one for the city.
There are anchors in Worcester now. This would be another anchor, certainly the anchor, some would say, of any community. So this is an unusual situation. I've been doing economic development for 30 years, and this is the first time I've ever talked about 50,000 jobs all at once.
Ash says Worcester is experiencing a revitalization, but a corporate headquarters like Amazon would accelerate the growth.
Generally, you talk about decades when you think about revitalization. A presence like Amazon can come and accelerate all that development and provide additional encouragement for others.
The city's chief development officer says Worcester placed a bold bid to Amazon with up to $500 million in local real estate tax savings.
The tax base grows phenomenally. We were very aggressive in what we offered as incentives from the city, but we'd get 3 times that in return. It really reinvents the city.
The bid highlights Worcester's variety of transportation and talent base from local colleges. Ash says it's 2 necessities Amazon is looking for.
Amazon could come in, take advantage of those resources, and help build upon them to attract even more development to Worcester.
Now the city says they are confident in their bid and their chances of getting Amazon to Worcester, but Amazon won't be announcing their chosen location until early next year. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Massachusetts Health Connector reaching out to Worcester businesses Monday. It's part of their outreach and education campaign for open enrollment for 2018. Representatives from the company stopped at different locations, like Bolivio's Express Communications on Main Street. The Health Connector says some people may be confused about healthcare because of what's happening at the national level. But in Massachusetts, they plan to stick with the original healthcare program.
I think there is some anxiety, but our job and what we're doing here and going forward is making sure that people know that we are still here, we're still available, we're still doing the same thing we've always done, the same way we've always done it. We've always been very active on outreach and enrolling people during open enrollment, and we're doing that again, the same as we ever have.
Open enrollment runs from November 1st to January 23rd. The Spags legacy will live on in Shrewsbury with a new memorial dedicated this past weekend. The memorial is a reminder of everything Spags was to Shrewsbury. The discount department store closed in 2004. Now Lakeway Commons is officially opened in its spot. A Whole Foods supermarket will be coming soon, and businesses like Tavern in the Square and Starbucks are already open. Worcester is seeking help to deal with an influx of students who fled hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico. Alicia Palumbo has the latest.
Over the past few weeks, Worcester Public Schools have seen an influx of more than 50 new students from Puerto Rico whose families have been temporarily or permanently displaced by Hurricane Maria.
I think they're coming to Worcester because they do have family here. The city has been preparing since the hurricane occurred.
So the school committee has been brainstorming ideas to best serve those primarily Spanish-speaking students. One proposal is to request that the State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, or DESE, relax its licensing requirements to allow Puerto Rican teachers who've also been displaced to teach here.
Perhaps they can make some adjustments and bring them on board with us. If they have the qualifications and they were teaching in Puerto Rico.
I think it'd be great to formalize some sort of process that maybe we can capitalize on a lot of the talent that, is down there.
Roberto Diaz with Centro is not only working closely with Puerto Rican evacuees, but can identify with the displaced students as he came here from Puerto Rico when he was 9.
It wasn't easy to kind of acculturate to a new area, but when I went to school and I had, teachers that were Puerto Rican, it kind of made me feel like I was at home.
DESE released a statement saying, "We're actively exploring what the process would be and how it could be put into action, but we do not have anything definite yet."
They'll probably have to deal with it on a one-on-one basis when they look at the qualifications of the person and to see if they're eligible for waivers until they can get their certification.
And the superintendent tells me those needs extend far beyond education. There's actually been a task force set up here in Worcester with city leaders, school leaders, and community leaders to try to meet all of the needs of these families that have been displaced. In Worcester, Alicia Palumbo, Worcester.